Hi, and welcome back to the Home Sweet Home podcast with Marissa, the podcast where we talk about the home buying process from A to Z. And I want to just welcome you. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're not stressed if you're listening to this. And I hope that I bring amazing value and a new understanding to why home ownership is the right move for you. So, once again, my name is Marissa O'Connor, and I am a realtor here at Keller Williams The Woodlands. I'm the director of operations for the Charlotte Cole Group. So I've been alongside Charla for almost 2 years now, and I've sat with her for at least 30 transactions. So I'm learning as well, and I hope that I can educate you and I can continue learning while doing this podcast. And I want to just explain the structure of how I want this to go because I am a structured person. I like rules, I like a plan, and I hope you enjoy that as well. So, we're going to be going through the book, Your First Home, um, The Proven Path to Home Ownership by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And it's a great read. I recommend it. I hope you buy it and follow along with me, or buy it and read it yourself and just learn from it because there's so much good stuff in here. Even if you aren't a first time home buyer, I think that you'll find some things in here that could help you long term with the home buyer process. Maybe it's been a little while since you've bought a home. Things change, the market changes, and there's lots of good tools in here. So I thought, what better way to talk about the home buying process than going through this book together? And I think I said it, you can buy it on Amazon. A little bit about the authors at the back of the book. Gary Keller is the co-founder and executive chairman of Keller Williams Realty. His New York Times bestselling books include The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and The One Thing. They've sold millions of copies worldwide, garnered more than 500 appearances on national bestseller lists, and been translated into nearly 40 different languages. Gary graduated from Baylor University in 1979 with a degree in marketing and real estate, and by age 26, he was the vice president of expansion for Austin's then largest real estate company. And 3 years later, he resigned from the position and struck out to create his own real estate firm. Gary soon took his company and his philosophy of people helping people nationally, then internationally. And he's a noted philanthropist and supporter of the arts. Keller and his wife, Mary, live in Austin, Texas. And Jay Papasan is a best-selling author who serves as the vice president of strategic content for Keller Williams. So he's, co-founder of Keller Inc., co-owner, alongside with his wife, Wendy, of Papasan Properties Group with Keller Williams Realty in Austin, Texas. Jay was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and after attending the University of Memphis, he spent several years working in Paris. He later graduated from New York University's graduate writing program and began his publishing career at HarperCollins Publishers. And there he helped piece together best-selling books such as Body for Life by Bill Phillips and Go for the Goal by Mia Hamm. And this, you can tell all of those things by reading this book because it's such a great read. It's so easy. I literally laughed out loud last night while I was reading it. And it's not only an instruction manual, but it's also just fun because that's what this process should also be. While it is probably one of the most stressful times in your life when you go to buy a home, you should still be having fun with it because it's exciting. Purchasing your first home is such a milestone, and you're so proud of it, and it's a place to call your own. And there's just so many great things that come along with home ownership that make it so much fun. So before we dive into a little bit of chapter 1, I thought I would tell you a little bit about my first home buying experience because I'm a homeowner. Me and my husband are homeowners. We moved into our house in 2018, and we're still currently living there in our first home. We love it. I asked my husband last night, what did he remember about the home buying process the most? And he answered that he just remembers a lot of confusion and stress from all of the moving parts it takes to buy a home. And, he's not wrong. It is stressful, it can be confusing, but my goal is to help relieve some of that stress and confusion by arming you with knowledge. And you don't have to know everything to buy a home. But if you're like me and you like to do your research, I think this will definitely help, along with, your first home book and me and us talking through it and all the people, the experts I'm going to bring in that are going to give us the lowdown on, home lending, on inspections, on insurance, and so much more. I think that we're going to be able to tackle this together, and hopefully when it is time for you to buy a home, if you decide so, that you're ready or you feel more prepared than maybe you would have just going in blind. That is my goal. So Reed remembers confusion. He remembers a lot of stress. And like I said, I remember that too, but I also remember the very first time that we stepped into our home that we have now. It was unoccupied. The sellers had already moved out, and I just remember the wood floors just beamed. Even in the evening, they just like shone so brightly. Like it was. I walked in, and I don't want to sound cliche, but I just kind of knew this was it. And we were walking around, and I really liked the layout of the home, except for one thing. There was, and I'll try to figure out a way that I can share a picture or a video of how it used to look. But there was this odd space in the living room. So we had our fireplace in the center, and then to the left and the right of the fireplace, there was just like an empty space, and then like column, like fireplace, empty space on both sides of the fireplace, and then two columns. And it kind of like we couldn't figure out how the room would work. How would we arrange our furniture? Where would we put our TV? We're trying to place things in our head. And we all just collectively scratched our heads at the living room layout. And then a quick suggestion from our realtor, who was Charla, she suggested that we add built-in shelves in the blank spaces on either side of our fireplace. And that way we could, like show our, like if you're like me, I'm kind of a knick-knacky person, not too much, but I like a little decoration. So it's a great place to show your pictures and your fun holiday decorations. And there's also additional shelving or cabinets that we put at the bottom. So I'm going to show a picture of it because I feel like my explanation's not doing it justice. But she made that quick suggestion, and that put the only qualm that I had of the house to rest, and I was sold. Except this house that we looked at was already under contract and in an option period. So we were not the first in line for this home, and I was deeply upset. I was so crushed, and I will continue on more on that later. But for now, a little pause on that story. Let's move forward to talk about the importance of building equity and what does that mean. So I'm going to take a little break, and then we're going to jump back in. Okay, we are back with the Home Sweet Home podcast with Marissa, and we are talking about equity. So, the word net worth. When you think of it, you probably think about your favorite celebrities, or like I think Taylor Swift. I'm thinking, and I should have looked up her net worth. I think I just saw something recently. It's exorbitant, and she deserves it completely. But have you ever thought about net worth of your own self? So it's really easy to calculate. And I'm on page 28 of the book, Your First Home, that I mentioned earlier. And net worth simply is the dollar amount you get when you add up everything everything of value you own and subtract everything you own. So, we're talking about net worth because homeownership is a great way to build your net worth. So, in recent U.S. Federal Reserve Board survey of consumer finances, showed that homeowners had a median financial net worth of $255,000, while renters' net worth was just $6,300. So let's dive in here. How could that be? Well, it's because when you purchase a home, there are two ways that you can build your equity, which in turn helps build your net worth. So the first way to do that is by paying off your mortgage, making your normal monthly payment. So when you first purchase your home, this is not like normal purchases. So you're going to put down a down payment and then paying the rest through your lender or whatever financing you choose, which we're going to talk more about that later. And you're going to owe that every month. So you take out a loan that you agree to pay back in monthly installments over a period of years. This loan's called the mortgage loan. So it means that you're pledging your home as collateral that you have, in fact, mortgage your home. And a portion of these monthly mortgage payment applies towards the principal, and the other portion goes towards the interest. So over time, as you pay back the principal, you gradually start to own more and more of the home's value. So, in other words, you're building up equity. And this is straight from Gary Keller himself, okay? Back to his book, always going to be referencing this. So, what does that mean? So, over time, at the beginning of the loan, according to this book, and my experiences, we're going to talk to other lenders and stuff. At the beginning of the loan, you're mostly going to be paying off interest of your home. So, that was the cost for borrowing. You're going to be paying that up front. And then as your loan reaches the end of its life, say it's a 30-year loan, towards the back end life of that loan, you're actually going to be paying more towards the principal, so building up equity. And there's great tips in this book too, saying if you have the opportunity to make an extra home payment, a mortgage payment per year, that you can reduce your note like by like a bunch of money. So great tips in here for how you can, in the long run, build your equity quicker. Okay, so that's the first way that you can build your equity and build your net worth. The second way to build equity is through price appreciation. So, like most consumer products, homes tend to go up in price over time. We've seen this. If you've been in any market during the pandemic times, you saw how much home prices shot up. So, homes values appreciate over time. It's a great fact to know once you're a homeowner. So, even if you're making a purchase, the longer you hold on to it, most likely the more your home's going to appreciate, which then will put more equity back in your pocket, and you will appreciate that appreciation. Welcome back to the Home Sweet Home podcast with Marissa. So, took a short break. We talked about building equity, how you can do it with home ownership, and how that can in turn increase your net worth and your generational wealth over time. Well, that's going to be a common theme of this podcast because I truly believe it. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, Marissa, that's all fine and good. That sounds wonderful. I'm ready to be a homeowner, but I have many qualms, and I might be a little scared about some of these reasons that I can't be a homeowner. And let me just help you put some of those fears aside. So, in this book, Your First Home, on page 32, these are the most common fears that are brought up about buying your first home. So number one is that you think you can't afford a home right now. Number 2 is that you should wait until the real estate market gets better. Number 3, you don't have the money for the down payment right now. Number 4, I can't buy a home because my credit score isn't good. Number 5, I can't afford to buy my dream home. And number 6, I should wait to buy a home until I'm certain about my domestic future. And last, number 7, I should pay off my student loans before buying a home. So let's talk about these fears. Let's break them down because I like to overcome my uncertainties with facts and research. That's how my logical brain works. So, fear number 1, if you think you just can't afford to buy a home right now. Well, the only way to know that for certain is to do the math. And I don't like to do math, so I like to talk to people who are experts and they know what the numbers are. And for me, in this situation, that would be my trusted lender partners. And I would be so happy to connect you with one of the many lenders that Charla has introduced me to and while we're doing business, because these people are passionate about what they do. They believe that everyone deserves the right to own a home, and they are just here to educate, which is, as you're probably starting to learn, is one of my most favorite things. So if you just think you can't afford to buy a home now, well, have you talked to a lender? And if not, please let me get you in touch with one, because they can sit down with you, do that math, let you know what it's going to cost. Because like the chances are that if you are currently renting, you can own. It's not that big of a jump from mortgage payments to rent payments, depending on your budget, area, and market. So let just put that fear aside right now, okay? And then fear number 2 is I should wait until the real estate market gets better. Ooh, this is a tough one. I hear a lot of people saying this. It can be, the news can be scary and sometimes a little overwhelming. And my advice is speak with a real estate professional in your specific market to find out what is going on in your market. Because if you're relying on the national news, those numbers are most likely not accurate to what's happening in your city or town, or even subdivision for that matter. So waiting until the real estate market gets better. Number 1, get yourself some information. Get connected with a realtor in your area. If you don't know a realtor in your area, please reach out to me. I have a database internationally of realtors who will do a spectacular job to take care of you and help you make your homeownership dreams come true. And I would love to be that connection for you. And the fact of this fear is that there is never a wrong time to buy the right home. So if you're just focusing on the market, it's rarely a smart approach to buying the right home. This book says, I'm on page 38. And, you know, people have overcome the Great Depression. We're in the Great Recession, and the people who've endured those they made it through, and they benefited from an era of financial growth. And I think that the real estate market, well, not that I know that the real estate market is cyclical, and there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. What goes up must come down, right? Same thing with real estate. And if it's the right time for you to buy a home, then you need to do so. Because if you're waiting on the market, there's always going to be a hurdle to overcome, whether you're tackling prices or interest rates. So my advice is contact your trusted real estate professional to get you in touch with a home lender who can help you figure out what works for you and your budget, what are you comfortable with, and move forward from there. Because the quicker you get into home ownership, the quicker you will be building equity for yourself in the long run, and you will not regret that. And we're talking about fear number 3 now. I don't have the money for the down payment. So the fact on that is, I'm on page 40. There are a variety of down payment options available to you. When we bring in our trusted lending experts, they're going to talk about down payment assistance and what that can look like, so you could get into a home much quicker than you may have ever known. And also, there's something that they reference in the book called house hacking. And this can also be a great way to make homeownership a more affordable option. If you buy a home with a separate living quarters, or you buy a duplex, you live in one side and you rent out the other to help cover the cost of your mortgage. You buy a home with an extra room that a friend comes and lives in and pays you a portion of your mortgage so that you can make it more affordable to you. And guess what? While you're doing this, you're also starting to become a real estate investor, which is another topic we're going to cover later down the line. I believe being a real estate investor is one of the best and quickest ways to increase your net worth, and it is a personal goal of mine. So I'm really excited to talk about that with you when we get to that point. All right, so we talked about fear number 3. Let's get into fear number 4. I can't buy a home because my credit score isn't good. So the fact of that is, on page 41, a less than perfect credit score won't necessarily prevent you from buying a home. So again, I'm just going to keep on saying, fight those fears with facts and knowledge. Talk to your trusted real estate professional or myself. If I'm not in your area, I'd love to recommend someone to you. And we can put you in touch with a credit repair specialist if homeownership is not on the table for you right now. Let's make a plan together with these credit specialists to get you to your goals quicker. I always say that if you want to do something, you go for it. If you don't know where to start, seek help. Most everyone around you wants you to succeed. They want you to be happy. They want to see your dreams realized. And the quicker you share your goals and your dreams with those around you, I guarantee you they're going to try and help those come true for you. And if that's not the case for you and your circle of people, reach out to me. I would love to be that person for you to help you realize your dreams. So if you think you can't buy a home because of your credit score, that may not necessarily be true. Talk to the lender, talk to a credit repair specialist, and get on a plan to make homeownership a reality. Okay, we're diving in here for fear number 5 of why people feel like they cannot be homeowners. And that is, I can't afford to buy my dream home right now. And the fact of that is, the best way to get closer to buying your dream home is to buy your first home. And it says here on page 42 that according to the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, 78% of first-time homebuyers in the U.S. compromised on some features of their first home. And this isn't a bad thing. This approach gets you closer to building your equity and later selling that home and moving up. And your goal with homeownership is to always sell and move into something better, because you're going to be building that equity, your home is appreciating, you've paid off a bit of your mortgage, so you own more principal of the home, and it's going to put you in a better position. So while I know that we may live in a culture right now that wants instant gratification, this is not one of those. This is just not one of those circumstances. Sometimes you have to be willing to compromise on a little to get you where you want in the long run. And I think that it just makes the whole experience more valuable, and it really puts things in perspective for you on building. You got to make the plan, work it. I'm not making any sense. This is the first time that I've messed up. I don't know what I want to say. What I'm trying to say is homeownership, while you may not be in your dream home right away, the quicker that you get into a home, the quicker you will be in your dream home. Because if you're waiting to buy your dream home just by saving up on your own, it's going to take you a while. So the quickest way to get into your dream home is to buy that first home. And fear number 6, I should wait to buy a home until I'm certain about my domestic future. I am very passionate about this topic here. And the fact in this book on page 43 says, you do not have to wait until you're married, partnered, or ready to have children to buy a home. So when most people say that they want to wait until they're in a committed relationship to buy their first home, what they're actually struggling with are two distinct issues, it says. It says, first, would it be better, they just don't know, would it be better for me to wait until I had 2 incomes? And second, will my future partner like this home? So I think that everyone deserves to have a home, married or individual, especially women. I feel like home ownership for single women is it's a great thing because of all of the other reasons I've talked about why home ownership is so wonderful. It's building you that equity, that net worth. It's giving you a space to call your own. It's just overall improving your life. And I think that some people may think they have to wait to do so, and not the case at all. So if you are able to purchase your first home by yourself, then you can later, if your partner decides they don't like that home or you want to build a new home together, guess what? You have this equity. That equity. Have I said that word 500 times? I think I have. You have equity of your current home. You can sell it and use the proceeds to build your life with your new partner. Or you could even use it as a ding, 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 rental property, real estate investor, guys. Use this home to pay the mortgage off, build that equity, start using it as an investment, and it will pay off over time. Or you know what? If you do buy the home and you meet your partner and they love it, you just get to live there together and make it your own. So there's so many options and there's so many reasons why I believe that single people should be homeowners. You do not have to wait to have the grand plan. Although I know I've talked about plans a lot today, I think this is something that you shouldn't wait on. And buy the home. Do it. Okay, and the last most common fear when buying a home is I should pay off my student loans before buying a home. And the fact of that, in this book on page 44, it says, student loan debt does not prevent you from buying a home. So I know that student loan debt is very common, especially in my generation. I'm a millennial, 31 years old. I'm very familiar with it. But the fact of that is even if you have student loans, it may not prevent you from buying a home. So if you're staying on time with your payments and you are working on regularly bringing that student loan debt down, I think you can make it work. Homeownership and owing student loans. Again, I'm going to refer you back to my trusted lender partners to really dig in deep on this with you. Now, on the other hand, if you've not been able to be on time with your payments, that is going to take a hit to your credit. So I would recommend getting with a financial advisor to make a plan. Again, make a plan to find a way to work down that student debt and how you can make extra payments or set aside more money to get that debt down sooner. But no matter what, when you reach out to an agent, you don't have to have all of your ducks in a row when you are looking to purchase a home. The first step you want to do is contact a realtor in your area. They're going to help you through the entire process. They're going to educate you on everything you need to know, and they're going to connect you with the people that can help you with any questions you have like this. So, I hope that helps. Those are all the fears, and I think we've tackled all of them, most common fears when purchasing a home. And my next podcast, we're going to be talking about finding your agent. So I've told you repeatedly today, find an agent, find an agent. Well, next time we talk, we're gonna talk about how do I find that agent? How do I decide if this person is the one for me? It's a big decision, and we're gonna break it all down. And I can't wait to learn more with you then. So I will see you next time. Bye.